Welcome to my culture presentation on India. India is thousands of years old. It was on many ancient trade routes. In more recent history, India was under British rule by a viceroy beginning in 1858. In 1930, the Indian National Congress, led by Gandhi, began working on achieving full national independence from Great Britain. It was a long battle, but independence was achieved in 1947, with the stipulation that the northern part of India would become Pakistan. India's social class structure was founded on a caste system. India's caste system is one of the world's oldest. The Indian people were divided into four groups, with the priestly caste on top, followed by the nobility, then the merchants, and at the bottom were the artists and the laborers. People were unable to move to a different caste group as they were born into a certain caste group at birth. And intermarriage between the caste groups was strictly forbidden. Today in India, the caste system is no longer legally enforced, and discrimination based upon one's caste is outlawed. The Indian government has established affirmative action programs which reserve jobs and educational scholarships and other benefits for members of the lower caste groups. You can still see the influence of the caste system on today's culture, especially in the rural areas. You can find people still following in their parents' or grandparents' footsteps, and the caste system continues to influence in regards to prearranged marriages. India is the second largest country in the world with a population of approximately 1.3 billion people. It is made up of 29 states, some as large as nations. It is also the world's largest democracy. And India is very diverse, depending on which region you are in regards to culture, food, climate, and customs. India's economy is fast growing. It grew by 7.5% from 2004 to 2013. It is currently growing faster than the Chinese economy. It is the sixth largest economy in the world, and the largest industry is agriculture. In spite of the positive economic developments in India, they still face a number of impediments to their economic progress. One of those is a poor infrastructure in regards to their roads and their rail system and transportation. Also, there is an uneven distribution of wealth in India. Approximately 1/3 of the world's extreme poor peoples reside in India. Besides agriculture, other fast-growing industries in India include IT centers. Around 2/3 of the worldwide offshore IT services are based in India. India is also a major exporter of software. Engineering is another large industry in India. The demand is high, especially in fields for biotechnology, aeronautics, the auto industry, and consumer electronics. And there is also a lot of jobs in marketing and sales industry in India. The family structure in India is basically patriarchal, meaning that they follow the traditional gender roles, in that women obey their fathers, husbands, sons, and brothers, and women traditionally provide the child care in the family. You can find in an Indian home upwards to 3 to 4 generations of the family living under one roof. Also, Indians are very conscious of how their own behavior will be reflected upon their family members. At all costs, they preserve their own and their family's dignity and honor. India is mostly a Hindu religion, followed by Muslim. They have the largest Muslim population in India. You can find many of the Hindu practices or beliefs in the Indian culture, so such as meditation, yoga, aesthetic practices, self-discipline, unity. And Hindu believes that the cow is a sacred animal, so not many Indians consume beef. India is very diverse in its language. It has up to 380 different languages with many different dialects depending on the region of the country. Hindi is the most popular language, followed by English. English is the official language for business in India, and many Indians are taught English in grammar school. According to Cultural Atlas, Indians tend to be polite and indirect in their verbal communication. When they speak, they try to avoid conflict or confrontation. Instead, they often will exchange opinions through negotiating rather than arguing that they're 100% right. So at times, their communication style can be seen as ambiguous. Indians value their personal space, and they limit physical contact. Traditionally, they will only have physical contact with people that they are familiar with or friends, maybe with a pat on the back or the arm, but they try to avoid physical contact with anyone of the opposite sex. They prefer minimal eye contact, and frequently you will see them nodding their head as they are being polite as you speak, and the nodding does not necessarily mean that they agree with what you are saying. Several things to keep in mind in regards to body language. Pointing the index finger at someone is considered accusatory. Instead, the more polite way is to use your palm with the face down, or use your thumb for pointing. The head is considered the holiest part on the body, so it is very offensive to touch an Indian's head. The feet are considered the dirtiest part of the body, so displaying the soles of your feet is considered rude. And the left hand is considered unclean in India, so do not offer your left hand when shaking someone's hand, or do not accept food or drink with your left hand. Handshake is proper etiquette in India, although some Indians may do what is called namaste, where they put their palms together and their fingers pointing forward and bow their heads slightly. That is the traditional Indian greeting. Because of their traditional gender roles, men may not shake the hand of a woman, but it is best just to follow the lead of the person that you are meeting. It is always proper etiquette to greet the most senior person first, and Indians place importance on their formal titles. So when you're meeting someone, it is proper etiquette to address them as Mr. or Mrs. If you're not sure of their name, then using Sir or Madame. And then proper business etiquette is to exchange business cards, to briefly glance at it and then put it away. Formal dress code, especially in the business setting when you're first meeting someone, is appropriate in India. So suit and tie for a gentleman, conservative dresses or skirts for women would be appropriate in a business setting. When going to a business meeting, it is important to engage in small talk before getting down to business. So covering topics such as where they have worked in the company or other industries or where they grew up is appropriate. Be prepared for the meetings to start and finish late and for the occasional interruptions. It is also proper business etiquette to exchange small gifts when first meeting someone. They are a symbolic gesture. The gift should be inexpensive and perhaps some small token from the country that you are from. It's good to wrap them in colors that Indians think are lucky. Typically, you open gifts after the meeting, after you've left, but it is proper etiquette to send a thank you card afterwards. Keep in mind your gifts when giving them to Indian people of their culture and their religion, such as presenting a leather bag made out of cow's hide would not be appropriate since they think the cow is a sacred animal there. The business structure, kind of like the family structure, is also very hierarchical. Decisions are made at the very top. So at a business meeting, unless you have the owner or the most senior manager or the president attending the meeting, a decision probably will not be made. Roles are very well defined within a business. And the Indians are extremely sensitive about what type of roles that they accept within a business. Indians very often do not say no. They will not come out and turn down an offer. They consider that offensive or too harsh or aggressive. Instead, they may say, we'll see, or yes, it may be difficult, or I will try, instead of flat out saying no. Working conditions in India, the typical work week is Monday through Saturday, work hours from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. The business work setting is usually very formal. You address your coworkers by their titles. Wages in India are typically lower than what you would find in Western cultures. Unpaid overtime is very typical in the workplace in India, but you can find typically a minimum of 12 vacation days, and there are 15 to 20 nationally paid holidays in India. Thank you for watching my culture presentation on India.